French President Emmanuel Macron just made a huge mistake. He thought he could get away with it, but Traore wasn't having it. He gave him a response that no one will forget, and what happened next will leave you speechless.
You speak to me as if France was still a colonial power, but I do not want to take care of electricity problems in the universities of Burkina Faso.
In a clash that got everyone talking, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, the young revolutionary running Burkina Faso, didn't hold back when he slammed Macron for comments that many people found insulting to all Africans. This wasn't just a simple disagreement, it was a defining moment in African politics. And now, the world is asking questions. From a humiliating 2017 speech to a heated showdown in 2025, this clash is more than a war of words. It is a battle for African dignity and independence.
Il a aussi insulté tous les Africains.
Je crois qu'on a oublié de nous dire merci. C'est pas grave, ça viendra avec le temps.
Il y a une partie qui a retenu mon attention, là où il parlait d'ingratitude.
L'ingratitude, je suis bien placé pour le savoir, c'est une maladie non transmissible à l'homme.
Lui, il est humain, notre ingratitude n'est pas transmissible à lui. Voilà comment ce monsieur voit l'Afrique, voit les Africains. Nous ne sommes pas des humains à ses yeux. Je pense que s'il n'est pas athée et qu'il prie, à chaque matin qu'il se réveille et qu'il prie, il devrait aussi prier les Africains. Parce que c'est grâce à nos ancêtres qu'il existe aujourd'hui une France. Il devrait nous prier.
Is this the start of something bigger? Is this a clash of egos or the spark of a new African revolution? In the next few minutes, we'll break down what happened, the explosive words exchanged, and what it all means for Africa's future. When Macron was speaking to French diplomats in Paris earlier this year, he talked about the growing demand from African nations like Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, Chad, and Senegal for French troops to leave their countries. But instead of respecting their decision, Macron took a surprising tone. He claimed that France's military presence in the Sahel had been crucial in fighting jihadist insurgencies, and that African leaders were being ungrateful for not thanking France. His exact words, "I think they forgot to say thank you. It doesn't matter, it will come with time." But to many, these words were not just insensitive, they were downright insulting. They made African nations sound like helpless children who owed France for its help, ignoring their right to make their own choices.
You speak to me as if France was still a colonial power, but I do not want to take care of electricity problems in the universities of Burkina Faso. That's his job. That's the job of the president. So on the other hand, I reassure you. Oh, what's this? He's going away. Stay there. Maybe he's off to repair the air conditioning.
What Macron didn't expect was the response his words would receive. His words sparked a firestorm. It was this moment the world witnessed a bold moment in African leadership. Burkina Faso's president, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, did the unthinkable. He stood up to the French president, Emmanuel Macron, one of the most powerful leaders in the West. At a ceremony in Ouagadougou, Traoré fired back, calling out Macron on what he said. Traoré didn't hold back. He sent a clear message. This wasn't just an insult to Burkina Faso, it was an insult to all Africans. Traoré went harder and said, "Macron has humiliated all Africans. This is how this gentleman sees Africa and Africans. We are not human beings in his eyes." It was a shocking moment.
Moi, je pleure le peuple français. Mais quand même, il est bien pour l'Afrique. Il est un mal nécessaire pour nous. Ceux qui veulent se réveiller, se réveillent. Ceux qui ne veulent pas se réveiller, comme on le dit, on ne peut pas réveiller quelqu'un qui ne dort pas. Les Africains doivent se réveiller. Nous devons travailler à être indépendants, à faire au moins ce que nos peuples connaissent le bonheur. Et la lutte contre l'impérialisme, c'est ça. Il faut décoloniser les mentalités, prendre en compte toutes ces données-là, parce que le monde nous donne tellement d'exemples à voir. Pour eux, il n'y a pas de morale. Ils peuvent vous désigner aujourd'hui terroriste, mais demain, vous êtes un héros. Par leur simple bouche, ils décident de ce qu'ils font. Ils parlent de démocratie, mais ils se font eux-mêmes des coups d'État.
But was Macron's statement a careless slip, or did he expose his true feelings about Africa? Well, one incident that happened in 2017 seems to put everything in clear light. On November 28, 2017, Macron visited the University of Ouagadougou to deliver a speech aimed at resetting France's relationship with Africa. It was supposed to be a new era of partnership. But what happened during that meeting showed a very different attitude. During a Q&A session, Macron spoke to the audience and said, "You speak to me as if France was still a colonial power, but I do not want to take care of electricity problems in the universities of Burkina Faso. That's his job. That's the job of the president. So on the other hand, I reassure you." It was at this moment that the then President Roch Kabore wanted to briefly leave the hall. Macron, seizing the moment, then turned to the audience and said, "What's this? He's going away. Stay there. Maybe he's off to repair the air conditioning." The audience erupted in laughter, but for many Burkinabe, it was a moment of humiliation. It sounded like a joke, but it wasn't. It was a low blow at Burkina Faso's infrastructure, its leadership, and its dignity. He went on to criticize the country's power and education sectors, reinforcing the idea of the inferiority of Africa. His message was clear: Burkina Faso is lacking and France knows better. People now look back at that 2017 moment and see it as a warning sign because fast forward to 2025, he still repeated the same action. He uttered another insulting statement. Both times he talked down on African nations, acting like France has the right to judge or even mock them, while completely ignoring how French colonialism helped create many of these problems in the first place. Like one social media user said, first they call us the world's poorest continent. Then when we tell them to leave, they won't go. And that is exactly what France is doing. But what Macron doesn't understand is that Africa isn't listening to him anymore. For Captain Traore, who took control of the Burkina Faso government in 2022 after people grew tired of leaders like Kabore being too close to France, Macron's comments prove exactly why Burkina Faso needs to be truly independent and go its own way. Drawing inspiration from Burkina Faso's revolutionary icon, Thomas Sankara, who led a radical self-reliance movement in the 1980s before his assassination in 1987, Traore has pursued a bold agenda. He has nationalized gold mines, built a national gold refinery, and invested in agriculture and infrastructure. He has also rejected financial aid from the IMF and World Bank, declaring that Burkina Faso can develop without Western strings attached. But Traore's leadership isn't without challenges. Burkina Faso's security crisis persists, with jihadist attacks claiming thousands of lives. Critics argue that his focus on true independence risks isolating his country economically. Yet recent studies project that Burkina Faso's economy could grow at 8% annually through 2043, potentially lifting millions out of poverty if his governance reforms succeed. What has really made him a hero across Africa is his bold stand against France. When Traore kicked out French troops in 2023, he made one thing clear: Burkina Faso wouldn't take orders from its old colonial master anymore. His recent blasting at Macron has also proved that he is not backing down. Like one young protester in Ouagadougou put it, Traore gives us hope. Hope for Africa, hope for Black people, hope for every fighter for freedom worldwide. However, Traore didn't just call out Macron's insults, he laid out a vision for Africa's future. He accused France of reorganizing its military presence through private security companies to maintain influence secretly. He has warned that they will not leave certain countries, they will set up security companies, but the soldiers will be there. Traore has urged African nations to denounce colonial-era military agreements, arguing that true independence requires breaking these chains. He said, "If you want a break with these imperialist forces, it's simple. We must denounce the agreements." He also called for a mental decolonization, encouraging Africans to wake up, to work for the happiness of African people, and to fight against imperialism. His message was clear. True freedom demands both the rejection of old ties and the awakening of a new African consciousness. And that's exactly the spirit Traore carried into his angry response to Emmanuel Macron. Ibrahim Traoré's strong response to Emmanuel Macron is not just a moment, it is a movement. It is a declaration that Africa will no longer tolerate being controlled or looked down upon or controlled by its former colonizers. By calling out Macron's insults and rallying Africans to decolonize their minds, Traoré is channeling the spirit of legends like Thomas Sankara and Patrice Lumumba, who dreamed of a truly independent Africa. But the road ahead is filled with challenges. Burkina Faso faces security threats, economic difficulties, and the constant shadow of foreign interference. Traoré's vision of true independence will require not just bold words but sustained action. Leaders will need to build institutions, foster unity, and prove that Africa can prosper without Western dominance. For now, Traoré stands as a beacon of hope for millions. His clash with Macron has ignited a continent-wide conversation about dignity, self-determination, and the future of Africa's relationship with West. Even his popularity is undeniable. At Ghana's presidential inauguration in January 2025, he received the loudest applause among 21 African leaders, which is a testament to his growing influence. Was Macron's comment a careless mistake or a reflection of France's true view of Africa? Is Traoré the revolutionary Africa needs, or is he taking too big a risk? What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let's rub minds. If you found this video thoughtful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss any upload. Thank you for watching. Check out our video on how Ibrahim Traoré destroyed Western plans with an unexpected move that even Trump couldn't believe. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos that tell the stories shaping our world.